All right, so uh, are you ready to dive into some really beautiful music with me today?
Oh, always.
We're going to be checking out Wake Me in the Sunrise, the latest solo album from Wilhelm.
I'm so excited for
You
this.
might recognize his name. He was the front man for Murnau and the Houseflies.
Oh, yeah, they're great.
But this album's like something totally different. It's like he's stripped everything away and gone for this super minimalist sound.
Yeah, with Murnau and the Houseflies, you've got the full band, the drums, the bass, everything. But here, it's just Wilhelm and a four-track Tascam.
It's pretty amazing what he's done with such limited tools.
Hmm.
And the fact that he spent over a year and a half working on this album, like that really shows you how intentional he was about every single sound.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And you can hear that intentionality in every note of Midnight Color on the Moon, which is the first track on the album.
I love the way he uses the acoustic guitar on this track.
Right, it's not just strumming chords like you might expect. It's like this intricate finger-picking style.
It's like a conversation between the strings.
Yeah, exactly. And then you've got these little hints of slide guitar way in the background. Want to hear a bit of it? I think it sets the mood perfectly.
Definitely. Let's hear it.
Okay.
Gas station ice cream stand. Clerk counter spray on tins. Will you remember this tonight? Bathed in fluorescent light. We're a long way from home. As the radio lets us know, midnight color on the moon. Telephone told they'll be back soon.
It's like echoes in a dream.
Ah, and I have to mention those vocals, they're so soft, almost like whispers.
But there's this strength to them, too.
Yeah, like a quiet determination.
I felt like he was confiding in me, sharing something really personal and vulnerable.
Yes, and that minimalist production just amplifies that intimacy.
It really does create this sense of vastness, too.
It's like starting in a small enclosed space, and then suddenly the walls disappear and you're staring up at the entire universe.
It reminds me of being out in the desert at night, feeling totally insignificant, but also strangely connected to everything at the same time.
That's a perfect analogy.
Speaking of feeling connected, let's move on to track 4. All the things I need to say.
This is the one that really got to me.
Me too. The opening piano motif is just heartbreaking.
It's so simple, these delicate notes falling like raindrops into a still pond.
And when his voice enters, it's almost hesitant, like he's searching for the right words.
Yeah, it reminded me of that feeling you get when you're trying to articulate something deeply personal, but the words just won't come out.
Have you ever had that experience where you want to tell someone something important, but you're afraid of how they'll react, so you just hold it all in?
Oh, all the time.
There's this heaviness to that silence, and that's what I hear in this song.
Yes, exactly. It's the way of unspoken words, the things we long to say but maybe never will.
And the instrumentation just perfectly underscores that feeling.
The subtle layers of strings, the muted snare and brushed cymbals, it's all so carefully chosen.
It's like being alone with your thoughts on a rainy day, watching the world go by from your window.
That's a great way to put it.
I have to say, I'm a sucker for a good string arrangement, and the way he uses them here is just masterful.
They don't overpower the song at all.
They just gently nudge the emotions along.
Wilhelm is a master of understatement. He knows how to use space and silence to create maximum impact.
And that's what makes All the Things I Need to Say such a powerful and moving piece of music.
It's not loud or demanding, but it stays with you long after the last note fades away. Yeah, it really sticks with you.
Okay, so we've gone from the vastness of the cosmos to the depths of the human heart.
Where to next?
Well, track 7, Hopeless Drifting Afternoon, is a whole different vibe.
Even the title, I mean, it just sounds like a lazy summer day.
Yeah, like floating down a river, just letting the current take you.
Exactly.
When I first listened to this track, I pictured myself on a rickety porch swing. Somewhere in the deep south, the sun is setting, there's that golden light, and a gentle breeze.
It's like time slows down.
And that opening guitar riff,
Oh, yeah.
it's like pure sunshine, shimmering and bright, but also a little bit disorienting.
It's like you're not quite sure where you are or what time it is.
Exactly. It's like being lost in a daydream where everything is familiar but also a little bit off.
And Wilhelm's vocals on this track are so relaxed.
Almost conversational.
Like he's just rambling on about whatever comes to mind.
I felt like I was eavesdropping on a stream of consciousness.
You know what it reminds me of?
What?
Those long car rides we used to take as kids, staring out the window, watching the scenery go by.
Oh, yeah, totally. It's that feeling of being both present and attached at the same time.
You're aware of your surroundings, but your mind is somewhere else.
And the instrumentation just adds to that dreamy, disorienting feeling.
That warm, syncopated bass line.
It's like it lulls you into a trance,
And then the vocal and instrumental elements start blurring together.
creating this sonic tapestry.
It's both intricate and incredibly soothing.
There's this one part, I think it's right before the bridge, where the guitar and bass lock into this groove that's almost hypnotic.
It's immersive, right?
I totally zoned out.
It's interesting because even though Hopeless Drifting Afternoon feels really different from the first two tracks we talked about, there's still this underlying theme of introspection.
It is like each song is a different lens through which we're exploring this idea of introspection.
Midnight Caller was about looking outward, contemplating the universe.
All the things I need to say was about looking inward, grappling with those unspoken emotions.
And Hopeless Drifting Afternoon is about letting go, surrendering to the flow of your thoughts and feelings.
You know what's so cool about this is that even though these songs are deeply personal to Wilhelm, they resonate with something universal in all of us.
Definitely.
Whether it's the awe we feel when we look at the night sky, the struggle to express our deepest emotions, or the simple joy of getting lost in a daydream, these are experiences we can all relate to.
That's the power of music.
It transcends language and connects us on a deeper level.
It allows us to feel seen and understood.
Okay, so we've spent a lot of time with these three tracks,
We have.
but we can't wrap up this deep dive without talking about this closing track. Hold your head now, baby.
Oh, this one is like a warm embrace at the end of a long journey.
After all that introspection and soul searching,
This song offers comfort and encouragement.
like a reminder that even when things feel hopeless, there's always light at the end of the tunnel.
It's like a lullaby for the soul. Yeah, it is a lullaby.
It's so gentle and reassuring.
And his vocals are just pure tenderness,
It's like he's singing directly to you.
offering comfort and support.
You know, it's interesting because even though Hold Your Head Now, Baby is musically quite different from the other tracks we talked about, it still feels like the perfect way to end the album.
It really does.
It brings the whole album full circle.
It leaves us with this feeling of hope and renewal.
After all that introspection and vulnerability.
Yeah, it's like he's saying it's okay to feel lost or uncertain sometimes, but, don't give up.
You got this.
Exactly.
And that's what makes Wake Me in the Sunrise such a special album. It's not just a collection of songs.
It's an experience.
Yeah, it's like he's inviting us into his own process of self-discovery.
And helping us connect with something deeper within ourselves.
It's a reminder that music can be such a powerful tool for healing and growth,
It can help us make sense of our own experiences, connect with others.
and ultimately find our way back to ourselves.
I love that.
Wake Me in the Sunrise is definitely an album that will stay with me for a long time
It's one of those albums you can listen to over and over again.
and discover something new every time.
Like a conversation with an old friend.
Yeah, you can always come back to it and find comfort.
Absolutely.
Well, if you're looking for an album that will soothe your soul, challenge your mind, and leave you feeling deeply moved, we highly recommend checking out Wake Me in the Sunrise.
You can find a link to Midnight Caller on the Moon in the episode description.
We played that one for you at the beginning of the episode.
Make sure to check out the whole album, though.
And as you listen, pay close attention to the title, Wake Me in the Sunrise.
What does that phrase make you think of?
Does it symbolize hope, a new beginning, a sense of awakening?
Let us know your thoughts. We'd love to hear how this album resonates with you.
Until next time, keep diving deep and let the music guide you.
Clerk counter spray on tense.